Belief in the passion, in the death, and in the resurrection of our Lord is effectively belief that everything sad will one day come untrue. I paraphrase Tolkien. Everything sad, sickness that we experience so much at this time, suffering, death itself, every pain that we've ever experienced in our life, every grief that we have endured. Think of the worst day that you ever had. It's not an easy thing to do. It will be as nothing in the light of our Lord's resurrection. What happens this day, friends, is the event that defines who and what we are as Christians. We are persons who live in the freedom of the risen Lord. What is that freedom? The freedom to do whatever we want? Of course not. That's not freedom at all. That's simply being enslaved to one's passions, one's desires. The freedom that is ours is the life of the infinite God that is offered to us, a life that has no end, a life that cannot be destroyed. Our God is the Lord of the living. Our God is the Lord of life. We see that today when, by his own death, he tramples death under his feet. And he rises from that tomb. And it's there, friends, in the early morning hours of a Sunday, in a graveyard, at an empty tomb, that your faith and my faith begins. We experience so much pain and so much unknowing at this time, don't we? Do you want to know something? This book is a book that records stories of people who do not understand, of people who do not get it, time and again. So you and I, friends, are in good company if we don't fully understand everything that's happening to us and to our world. What's more important is to recognize that God does understand. The Israelites have such a history of pain, a history of darkness, a history of enslavement. How could it be that God allowed such a thing? Well, he was working on something. He was working on something greater. He knew that that sickness, that suffering, that pain wasn't going to be the end of the story. Far from it. There are times, chapters of human history, when you and I find ourselves immersed in them, cannot see beyond them because the pages have not yet been turned. But that doesn't mean that our Lord doesn't know what he's doing. He does. And the joy of this Easter Sunday, though we celebrate it differently than perhaps we ever have in our lives, is nevertheless real and true. Our Lord is risen from the dead. The candle burns. The church is filled with Easter flowers. The event that changed human history still happened. And that means that even if we don't understand what we might be going through right now, we do know the end of the story. Even if we don't know what will transpire between now and then, we do know how the story ultimately comes to an end. It comes to an end on that Sunday morning in that graveyard at that empty tomb, when everything sad becomes untrue. We're summoned today to rejoice, believe it or not, in the glory and in the light of that faith. And if we allow that glory and that light to wash over us and to transform us from within, then even now, friends, you and I can be the Easter people that we are called to be. We can admit together that we don't fully understand, but we can also admit that that's okay. Because the worst thing that could possibly happen, it has happened. And the results of it, death, they've been trampled under the feet of our risen Lord. May his peace, friends, be with you this day and throughout this holy Easter season. And by the grace of God, by his love, by his mercy, may we be together again soon to rejoice in the light of his resurrection.